Dodgers World Series chances took a hit tonight. They lose to the Phillies in extra innings. The bullpen can't get it done. Blake Treinen couldn't get it done. A bad at-bat by Miguel Rojas. And now the Dodgers need to hold on to win that National League West, because you can say bye to the bye in the National League. That's coming up next on the Dodgers Nation Postgame Show.
Mookie Betts with his 15th
Mookie magic! This Dodgers team is built to win back-to-back World Series.
One-of-a-kind player! One-of-a-kind season! Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone!
There's nothing that brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. What is up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to the Dodgers Nation Postgame Show, the number one Dodgers postgame show on YouTube. My name is Doug McKain. I cover the Dodgers for Dodgers Nation. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. Thanks for rocking with us after the Dodgers lose Game 1 of this pivotal three-game series against the Philadelphia Phillies. A loss in extra innings by the final score of 6-5. The Dodgers, they now drop to 84-66 on the season. And while the Padres were idle in this one, they're 2 games back of the Dodgers. Dodgers, of course, hold on to that tiebreaker. Their magic number still is 10. You need a combination of 10 wins or losses by the Padres, 10 things to go in the Dodgers' favor to win that National League West. But even if you win that National League West now, it's looking grim as far as the Dodgers' chances of finishing with the second best record in the National League and avoiding the wild card round. So they would have to play a 3-game wild card round against what looks to be the New York Mets at the moment. That could change. You could face, look, even the Diamondbacks are making a late run here. Things get very interesting. The Cubs, who knows? I mean, they're pretty solid where they're at, but there's a world where the Dodgers, if you implode and the Padres take the division, that you end up having to go on the road during the wild card round. So a lot changed tonight. A lot changed tonight. I mean, it was a back and forth game. It was an epic game. The Dodgers continued to answer back in this one. The interesting thing was, out of the gates, you had Anthony Banda as the opener to try to neutralize the top of this Phillies offense, namely Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper, those powerful left-handed hitters. But interestingly enough, those guys have hit better against lefties this year. So for a team that loves to play the platoon matchups, to get the lefty-lefty to give the pitcher an advantage, well, the numbers didn't say that that was the case this year. And Kyle Schwarber, he opened the game up with a home run to start things off Anthony Banda. And the whole strategy to have your opener as a lefty to try to put up a 0 in that first inning, it just did not happen. So that from the start was pretty interesting. You look at Schwarber this year heading into this game, a 957 OPS versus lefties, a 929 OPS versus righties, 21 home runs in 216 at-bats versus lefties, 31 home runs and 341 at-bats versus righties. So I love how the Dodgers played into the Phillies' strengths tonight and going with a left-handed pitcher up against Kyle Schwarber. And yes, you look at Anthony Banda this year, and he's been really, really good, especially towards the latter stage of the season after the All-Star break. He's really put together a really solid year, a 3.34 ERA in 59 1/3 innings of work. He's been a guy that has really ate a lot of critical innings for this team, and this team really needed Anthony Banda to step up this year, and he certainly has after what was a rough start to the season. And the interesting thing is, look, he pitches well against lefties. Lefties 154 against him with a 464 OPS, and the righties an 819 OPS versus him. So clearly that's a matchup that Banda likes more than having to go against righties, but still, that's a very potent team in the Phillies with guys right at the top of that order that can do damage. And that started things off just right out of the gates. You're trailing in this one. And thankfully for the Dodgers, Emmet Sheehan was fantastic. Emmet Sheehan, he was great in this one. He came in following Anthony Bonda, and he was dealing. I mean, it was the same Emmet Sheehan that we had seen for this entire stretch where he's been just absolutely dealing. I mean, heading into this game, Emmet Sheehan was really pitching some of the best. He actually was pitching the best baseball of his career. His last 7 starts heading into tonight, Emmet Sheehan, a 3.18 ERA in 39 2/3 innings of work. So the first thing that I want to start with is I have an issue with the opener tonight. I really, really do. I think the Dodgers should have gone with a starter in Emmet Sheehan that had been pitching well. And yes, I understand that if you're the Dodgers, this could be a way you're going to deploy him in the postseason, potentially after Shohei Ohtani. So you want to get him used to coming in after someone. But tonight, I think it's just how do you give this team the best chance to keep your hopes alive in finishing with the second best record in the National League? And I think that was pitching Emmet Sheehan early in this one like a normal starter like he has been, because he proved that he was dealing. A 3.18 ERA his last 7 starts. And in this one, he went 5 2/3 innings, had 7 strikeouts, 3 walks, and 1 hit, and he gave up 1 run. He threw 94 pitches. And the Phillies, after getting that home run off of Anthony Bonda early, the Schwarber bomb, they didn't get a hit in this one until the 7th inning. Until the 7th inning when Emmet Sheehan gave up a ground rule double. And at that point, the Dodgers were up 3-1. Because before that, they had worked their way back into this one. Mookie Betts, I thought, had some really nice at-bats. I mean, what more can you say about Marcus Lynn Betts? Mookie Betts is hitting like an MVP. He's taking great at-bats. He's been a big reason why this team has really shown a lot of signs of life of late. And in the bottom of the 3rd inning, after an Andy Pages leadoff double off Suarez, Chucky Robinson hit a sac bunt. Shohei Ohtani walked, and they get to Betts, and Betts, like he does when they walk Ohtani in front of him, well, he took care of business, and it was not an intentional walk, but it was, there sometimes it feels like intentional walks with Shohei at the plate. And Mookie goes up there, hits a sac fly to center. That tied things up at 1. And then bottom of the 5th inning, it was the Dodgers glue that stepped up. The guy that you need in these situations, and it's their own lefty bopper in Max Muncy. So you show me your Kyle Schwarber, I'll show you my Max Muncy. And Max Muncy, 2-0 count. He hits a bomb that put the Dodgers up 2-1. Then later in that same inning, Andy Paz followed that up with a double. Then a couple batters later, Shohei Ohtani doubled. That got Chucky Robinson to 3rd. After Robinson bunted into a fielder's choice, they got Pages out at 3rd, so he was still in play. And Mookie goes up there, another fantastic at bat, a 3-2 count. And Mookie, he hits a sac fly to center, and that puts the Dodgers up 3-1. So now fast forward to Emmet Sheehan there in the 7th inning. He gives up 1 hit, 94 pitches, and boom, it's let's play the matchups and go to Jack Dreyer. And Jack Dreyer simply just was unable to get the job done. He gets the first out, then Stott singled to center. That scored Kemp to make it a 3-2 game. And then Wilson. Now, the big difference in this game, there's a couple of big differences. The Phillies out-executed the Dodgers, especially late, but also the bottom of the lineup for the Phillies comes through. You had Stott come through with a walk. He had a big RBI. And then Weston Wilson, a guy who heading into this game had a 202 batting average, a 669 OPS, a below average hitter. You get Weston Wilson at the plate. You feel good about that if you're the Dodgers, except he comes through in a big, big spot for the Phillies, and he crushes a bomb, and that gave the Phillies a 4-3 lead. So you had the guys at the bottom of the lineup stepping up for the Phillies. Not the same case for the Dodgers. You saw Miguel Rojas, and we'll talk about his bad at bat there in the 10th inning. Swing at the first pitch, a cutter up in the zone, unable to come through in a big spot where all you need to do is put it in play for a deep fly ball to tie things up. But the Phillies out executing the Dodgers, doing the little things. And that's what really bothers you about this result. But Emmet Sheehan, he was dealing. And the rest of the Dodgers, they gave up home runs. The Dodgers gave up 3 home runs tonight. Jack Dreyer gave up a bomb. Anthony Bonda gave up a bomb. And then later, Bryce Harper crushed a dinger off of Alex Vesia that put the Phillies back on top at 5-4 after Betts had tied things up with a home run of his own in the bottom of the 7th inning. So they were exchanging blows. This felt like a heavyweight title fight. I know the Phillies, they're from Philly. Hey, Adrian! Hey, Adrian! It felt like it was a rocky fight. It felt like it was a back-and-forth affair, and they were exchanging blows. Home runs left and right. Betts gets a bomb. Harper responds with his own bomb. This time it was off of Alex Vesia. And there's another example. The Dodgers going the left-handed reliever against a left-handed hitter. And you presume that the advantage goes to the Dodgers. But in this case, it was a four-seam fastball up out of the zone. Harper was hunting it, and he wasn't afraid to swing at it, and he crushed it. And that put the Phillies up 5-4 in this one. But my first takeaway is I just thought the Dodgers got a little too cute with the matchup early with Anthony Bonda. It's a big regular season game. It felt like a postseason game, but I think in that situation right there, you played into what has been one of the Phillies' strengths this year is their best hitters being really good against left-handed pitchers, and it proved to be a failed move because it gave them an early lead, and then Sheehan would go on to deal. I think if Sheehan starts this game, has a good just look at that. I mean, you wanted Emmet Sheehan in this game so he didn't have to face Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper, right? The left-handed hitters. Well, let's see. So Emmet Sheehan comes in and, what do you do against Kyle Schwarber? Top of the 3rd inning, checks notes. I don't know. Struck him out with a changeup. Bryce Harper, what did Emmet Sheehan do with him? I don't know. Strike him out with a slider, right? I mean, so it's like, sure, it's different when you face these guys multiple at bats and third time to the order and all that stuff. But hey, man, let the dogs eat. Like, and the dogs this year got to be coming out of that starting rotation. And I think in this game, particularly, there's just so much confidence that you have in Emmet Sheehan in this one. He can handle the top of the lineup. You don't have to go out there and put in Anthony Bonda and set this Dodgers team back where they're trailing early on. And yes, they were able to take a lead in this one, and Sheehan came in and he pitched very well, and the Dodgers almost won this game. But I think that let's trust guys who have earned it. I think Emmet Sheehan certainly has earned it, and I think that they treated this game a little differently, and rightfully so. Like, this was a playoff game as far as how it impacts this season. But let Emmet Sheehan face the top of that line to start the game. But here was him after the game talking about his start. Emmet Sheehan.
Emmet, you can start this one. How you were able to come out of the bullpen and be so effective through 5 2/3 inning of work? Just navigating the lineup. What was working so well for you?
I think just trying to keep them off balance. I definitely didn't have my best stuff today, but I think it's just a testament to Chucky back there and Mark and Connor for drawing up the game plan.
So when you don't have your best stuff, but you're still able to be efficient, yes, there were a few walks, but the swing and miss was there. What does that just say for you, and how encouraging could that be for you as we get closer to the end of the regular season?
Yeah, it's always nice to have success against a lineup like that. It's a really good lineup. But yeah, it's good.
Very different in the routine coming out of the bullpen, in the first inning today, and if that's a role that you may have in the postseason, you feel like you'll be able to do that facing the success you had tonight?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'll do whatever they ask me to do for sure. Just a little bit different. Just started my stuff a little bit later. Was ready to go first pitch. So yeah, just stayed ready.
Did they basically tell you you'd come in at that point?
Yeah, that was the plan, pretty much.
So that's Emmet Sheehan, and he talked about the plan there, but I'm disappointed. I truly, truly am, because the truth is Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper, they're a tough matchup for anyone, for Yamamoto, for Blake Snell. I mean, Kyle Schwarber leads the National League in home runs. Like, it doesn't matter who he's facing, he's going to be a difficult task and a guy that's not going to be easy to get out. But there had been nothing that we've seen from Emmet Sheehan's most recent starts that would indicate that you need to give him this little opener to try to max out and optimize his start. I think that was genius theory right there, overthinking right there, paralysis by analysis. Just let guys go out there and be them and deal. Like, it's so frustrating. And the good thing is the Dodgers did find a way to get the lead at some point, so you overcame that Schwarber home run early, but it does set things back. So you got Bonda getting the start, and we saw that work down. Give this Dodgers team credit. They really, really fought back in this one despite that move that did not work. And Sheehan was not fazed by having to come out of the bullpen like that. So that definitely was promising for sure. But then we have to talk about where this game was really won and lost. Where this game was really won and lost was late. And to the Dodgers' credit, you had Johan Duran, a pitcher who the Phillies traded top prospects for to be a lights-out closer. He's out there throwing 102, 103 miles per hour. And Andy Pages, in a 5-4 game in the bottom of the ninth, he crushes a solo home run that ties things up at 5. An amazing moment for Andy Pages that shows that he's locked in and he's ready for big at-bats in October. But then after that, that's when the Phillies really started to really out-execute this Dodgers team. Because a couple batters later, Shohei Ohtani, he intentionally got walked, in my opinion. He really got one pitch in the zone, not a lot to work with. And he ends up stealing second on a pitch that should have been strike 3 to Mookie Betts, and that should have ended the inning. So Mookie had an opportunity to win it in the ninth, but he just couldn't come through. And just sometimes it happens. Mookie has been great late. He was great in this one throughout. He had a home run. He had a couple sac flies. He was incredible, but he wasn't able to come through there. But I think the most disappointing and frustrating thing about this loss, because baseball is going to baseball, right? Baseball is going to baseball. You're going to win tough games. You're going to lose tough games. There's going to be gut-wrenching losses. It happens. It's how this sport is designed. But in a game that was so pivotal, that had so much on the line as far as seeding goes, as far as the bye goes, as far as putting the Dodgers in the best position to repeat, Blake Trinan goes out there in extra innings, and he holds the Phillies to 1 run. But during that appearance, it could have been no runs. And yes, it's always difficult with the Manfred man. You got the runner on second. Really, if you're a team out there, you want to score 2 runs to feel good about your chances. But he intentionally walked Harper after they got Schwarber to line out for the first out. And then Harper steals second. Bader steals third. They put on the double steal, and Blake Trinan was not even thinking about these runners. And that is what Blake Trinan has done. If you know anything about his career, he does not pay attention to runners on base, especially in extra innings when the Manfred man is there. Why? Like, why is that acceptable? Just because there's a chance that you're going to strike guys out because you were great in the World Series, because you've been a great reliever throughout your career? Like, why is it okay to not focus on the little things? Because that error of judgment, and look, it's a tough play no matter what. It's tough to throw guys out. It's not a guarantee, but he's oblivious to the runners on base. And I think if you're the Phillies, you're laughing. Do you remember how the Yankees came in last year and the Dodgers scouts were laughing at the Yankees essentially because they said, okay, put the ball in play. The Yankees are sloppier than a soup sandwich. At some point, they're going to make a mistake. And the Dodgers just out-scouted the Yankees, right? Because they knew the Yankees were going to make mistakes. And we saw it. Aaron Judge drops the ball. Sloppy play by Anthony Volpe. Garrett Cole doesn't cover first. The list goes on and on and on, right? If you're the Dodgers, the Phillies probably thought something similar to you with Blake Trinan on the mound. They probably said, oh, we scouted Blake Trinan. We know he does not hold runners on. He does not pay attention to the runners. And then, boom, double steal. And then JT Realmuto, he hits a sac fly to right, and that gave the Phillies a 6-5 lead. So there you go. The margins are very thin in extra innings in the regular season with the runner on second. I think the positive is in the postseason, Blake Trinan won't have that runner on second base. So you got to feel better about that. And Blake is that guy. We know, hey, when you need the cojones, when you got the grapefruits, like this guy, when the pressure's on, the lights are the brightest, he's shown that he can come through. So I'm not long-term selling my Blake Trinan stock or anything like that, but it's just such a pivotal game to have that happen. And then really the game, the at-bat that really crushed the Dodgers' chances of coming back and winning this one. Bottom of the 10th inning, it's a 6-5 game. You got Robertson on the mound, David Robertson on the mound for the Phillies, and Ben Rortvedt, he grounds out to short. That gets Mookie Betts to third. So you have Mookie at third with one out. That was as good as him laying down the perfect bunt. It was a great at-bat by Ben Rortvedt. Of course, they're going to intentionally walk Freddie Freeman. Okay, that's Mr. World Series MVP. They wanted nothing to do with Freddie Freeman. He gets walked. And then Alex Call works a great at-bat, a 6-pitch at-bat for Alex Call after he was at a 2-2 count and just took some tough pitches down in the zone. He bat drops those walks like he always does, which I find hilarious and I love. And then the at-bat of the night came down to Miguel Rojas. And mind you, Miguel Rojas has been fantastic for a long time. He has been one of the unsung heroes of this team. He's been great offensively when he needs to be. He has pitched for this team. He's played shortstop for this team, third base, second base. Whatever you ask Miguel Rojas to do, he has done it, and he's been awesome in his role for the Dodgers this year. But that at-bat was just a tough at-bat. You got the bases loaded. All you needed to hit one to right center field, just keep it in the air, and that's going to be a tie game. And then you got a chance to win it with Max Muncy at the plate. Instead, he swings at the first pitch, and he pops out to short, and the next batter, Max Muncy, grounds to first, and that was it. The Dodgers lose. So a frustrating loss for L.A. The Dodgers now are in a position where it's going to be extremely, extremely difficult to try to get yourself in a position where you can win enough games and the Phillies can lose enough games to where they catch them for the second best record in the National League. Right now, you just have to hold on to win your division so you can host a wild card round. At this point, you just don't want to have to go on the road for a wild card round, right? Win the division, host a wild card round. Hopefully that sparks things and the bats get hot. But the other big thing, too, is not only do you have to play the wild card round most likely at this point, because if the Phillies win tomorrow, they got the tiebreaker. You're already down 5.5 with just over 10 games to play, 12 games to play in this one. It's a big-time uphill climb to try to catch the Phillies. But on top of having to play more games in a shorter series where anything can happen against a team that is going to be playing with house money with no pressure on them. If it's the Mets, no pressure. If it's the Dodgers, all the pressure in the world. All the pressure in the world. If the Dodgers lose the wild card round, they're going to call the 2025 Dodgers one of the biggest busts in Major League Baseball history. Let's be honest. Like, that's what's on the table right now based on this roster and based on how these guys look. And on top of that, you have to win that round, and then you have to go to Philly for the NLDS when had you taken care of business, had you not lost so many games this season for so many different reasons, you'd be in a position where you'd be hosting the NLDS against the Phillies, but having to play the wild card round. So very disappointing loss for the Dodgers. Already going to be tough anyway. You really had to sweep this series. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. But their chances really took a big hit of finishing with that top 2 seed. But all right, guys, let's go to you guys. And I know you're rocking with us. Appreciate you here down below. We got Chrome Fan. Exactly. I mean, that's the thing. The fact that you got 5 runs tonight, you got 5 runs by the Dodgers. You out-hit the Phillies 9-5. You out-hit the Phillies 9-5. And yes, I know one of my catchphrases is if you want the dub, you've got to slug. Betts hit a home run in the 7th inning to tie it. Max Muncy hit a home run. Paz hit the home run the 9th inning off Duran to tie this thing up. But 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position, and you left 9 men on base. That's not going to get it done. That's just not going to get it done. Muncy had a couple of opportunities, went 0 for 2. Chucky Robinson 0 for 1. Rortvedt 0 for 1. Paz 0 for 1. Rojas 0 for 1. Not enough scoring opportunities for Shohei Ohtani, too. That's another thing, too. At the bottom of the Dodgers lineup, it was nice to see Paz down in the order tonight, go 3 for 4. but you would like to see kind of the guys that we've seen down there, the Tommy Edmonds. I see people wondering why they didn't. I see here Joe Magazzini, D-Mac, why didn't the Dodgers pinch hit Miguel Rojas for Ha-Seong Kim? Or why did they pinch hit Miguel Rojas for Ha-Seong Kim? Have you been not watching the Dodgers for the last month? You want to see Tommy Edman and Ha-Seong Kim in there over Miguel Rojas? Have you not been watching this Dodgers team for the last month? Because Miguel Rojas has been doing the little things, getting sac flies, getting ground balls, putting the ball in play when they need him to. And Edman and Kim, they've taken a handful at bats since returning. I mean, just under 20 at bats, right? And it's a tough spot. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of the hindsight hyena kind of look at things where, yeah, it made it seem like it was a better move. I still think I would have gone with Rojas in that situation. I just think that Rojas will be the first to tell you, because he's such a stand-up dude, that he would love to have that at bat back. But you're absolutely right, Chrome Fran. 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position. We got golden era hip-hop forever. Bullpen has been a disappointment this season, starting with Tanner Scott. Yeah, I mean, you look at the Dodgers bullpen tonight, it was not a good night for them. And it was going against a top-level offense with top-level talent that you're going to see in the postseason. Anthony Banda went a third of an inning, and he gave up the home run on 16 pitches. Jack Dreyer, who's been great all season long, look, sometimes these guys are going to have off nights. And the more pitchers you use, the higher the likelihood that one of those guys is just not going to have it on a particular night. And tonight, that was Jack Dreyer. He gave up the single to Slot. Stott was able to pull the Phillies within a run. And then the home run to Wilson, he falls behind the count. And then it was a four-seam fastball. They won it down and away. He left it middle, and he absolutely crushed it. You just can't let their number 9 hitters hit home runs in those situations. That just, like, if you're going to be beat, fine. Get beat with Schwarber. Get beat with Bryce Harper. Tip your cap. Those guys drive Benzes too, right? Those guys live in mansions too. Those guys are elite hitters, but not to a 200 hitter. Don't give up the home run to the 9th batter, Weston Wilson, a 202 hitter. You just can't have that. I mean, that'd be like that's like Michael Conforto or Rojas hitting a home run for them, for the Dodgers in this one, right? That didn't happen, so the Phillies feel a little better. But let's hear from Dave Roberts, hear what he had to say. I'm very curious to see if he was asked about just the decision to go with that opener the way they did. And in retrospect, it always looks like it's a bad move. If he had struck out the side or whatever, or just done a great job against Schwarber and Harper, you probably think differently. But yeah, the numbers didn't say that made a ton of sense, at least from just the outset. But here, let's give a listen to Dave Roberts, hear what he had to say. Then I'm going to open this up and read all of your comments. So have all of your hottest Dodgers takes, all of your questions coming up next on the Dodgers Nation postgame show.
I thought it was both offenses fought all night. I thought Emmet pitched a heck of a ball game. I thought that he was competing all night. Maybe not with his best fastball. I thought the fastball command was really good. I think his velocity overall was down tonight. I thought, he left everything he had tonight. I liked where we were at with how we left the game. And we just didn't, Jack had an off night, got behind hitters, and then obviously gave into, that 9-hitter. And, but after that, I thought offensively, Mookie, huge hit. Page's huge hit. I thought, Alex Call took a great at bat to get us in a good spot. But, you got to give credit to those guys. Those guys had some big hits as well.
The bullpen, just the home runs that we talked about the Phillies, were those, whether it was good selection, was it just location? I know there's a few different ones, but what do you kind of see from those pitches specifically?
I thought Banda's was a good pitch. I thought it was maybe a little bit elevated, but it was away, and Schwarber, one-hand swing, hits a homer. I thought the Harper ball, 1-2, I think the count was, and it was a ball above the zone against Vesia. And then the Dryer, he just fell behind. He was behind all night, and then 2-0, and threw a fastball down the middle. In that 10th inning, they do a double steal and get into a situation there, and Realmuto puts a good at bat to hit it just deep enough into right field to score the winning run.
Schwarber and Harper are both pretty good against left. Is that just backwards going to as many lefties as you did, just kind of backwards on where the bullpen is at, and sort of match you still like him despite some of their success?
I think it's a little bit of. Yeah, I think that I still like the guys that we had on them. I wouldn't say Harper's better versus left.
Not that really good.
Yeah. I think that you're talking about the guys that we really, those guys were rested, ready to go, and I had the guys that I wanted, and that doesn't always work out, even with that.
We've talked about the bullpen an awful lot lately. Do you go to bed at night worrying about it still, knowing how important it's going to be in the postseason? It's just trying to, see which guys step up, with opportunities. I thought, Tanner, for example, the last 2 outings have been very good, and it's really good to see. Just kind of trying to figure out, who's going to, like I said, who's going to seize the opportunity. So they're going to continue to get opportunities and, see how it plays out.
In hindsight, the way Sheehan pitched, would you have rather him just started the game after knowing that?
You just don't know. No, I think that's, obviously in hindsight, if I would have known Bryce or Schwarber's going to hit a homer, but it still got us into the 7th inning. When Emmet came out of the game, we had a 2-run lead. So I felt we still prevented runs, up until that point.
And on the bright side, is it good to see him come out of the pen, if that might be his role in the playoffs?
Yeah, it was good. And Emmett's a guy that he's just unfazed by anything. He's in a great spot for a youngish player. He's very mature and very confident. Thanks, guys.
So, yeah, that's what Dave Roberts said after this one. And look, you have to agree with him. They did have a 2-run lead when Emmet Sheehan left. And is that a big enough lead, though, for this bullpen this season? I would say probably not, based on the performances we've seen throughout this year. I do think that you're going to see a different look Dodgers bullpen when it comes down to it. I think you're going to see Emmet Sheehan in a little bit of a different, more short burst type of role. If he's going 5 2/3 innings or 6 innings in a postseason game, that means something kind of went wrong, unless you're playing extended series and you kind of need to start from him, which is something that's very possible. But Dryer, Vesia, down nights, Blake Trinan, down night. And then you look at the Tanner Scott outing. Give him credit. I think you got to give some credit. Mitchell ought to have full take as Tanner Scott did a nice job in this one, went an inning, had a strikeout, was very efficient, 10 strikes and 9 pitches. So, 10 pitches, 9 for strikes is really, really good in his work this evening. So I feel really good about how Tanner Scott went 1, 2, 3 against Stott, Wilson, and Bader. Towards the bottom of the lineup, kind of a lower leverage situation, so it kind of tells you how they view him right now in some lower leverage type of roles. But now let's go to you guys. No Edgardo Henriquez, Teo in left, Edmund in center. We lost to the Philly Karens. LOL. Carl, did you see there were some Dodgers fans? Some Phillies fans. They were dressed up as the Karens. So love those. That's pretty awesome. I'll talk about them tomorrow on Dodgers Dugout Live. But that was hilarious. You had a group of Phillies fans. They were dressed as the Phillies Karen. And of course, unless you're under a rock, you know the story of the Phillies Karen fan in Miami that took that ball away from a fan. By the way, just looking at Twitter right now, the the Phillies are partying. The Phillies are partying for that division win, winning the National League East. So hopefully, hey, if I'm the Dodgers, I'm sending a couple more bottles of champagne. I'm sending a bunch of bottles of red Budweiser, and I'm hoping that they're partying all night long. Get them bottle service to an LA club. Get them VIP access. Hey, send them somewhere to party, man, because hopefully you get a hungover Phillies team for the second and third games of this series, because right now the Dodgers down 5.5 games to the Phillies with 12 games to play. And those bye scenarios are pretty low what you would have to do. I mean, the Phillies really, for the Dodgers, they were in a part where, I mean, you kind of had to have, the Phillies have to go, yeah, it's low. It's very unlikely. The Phillies basically have to crater and the Dodgers have to really go crazy. But, all right, here we go. Let's read some more comments here. We got an opener, just let Sheehan start. Yeah, the positives are essentially they had a 2-run lead when he left. He's going to be used in that role in some capacity in October, presumably after Shohei Ohtani, possibly. But I think for this regular season game, I disagree with the move. I think in retrospect, you would have preferred to see him just start in this one. All right, here we go. We got it's competitiveness. Dave, I liked our fight. Roberts, I like to compete, right? Sports cards, report cards. I thought, okay, you guys are dogging Dave. We've got Beer Summit, Investia, run out of Red Bull. We've got Kevin. No, I guarantee you not. He did not. He's still pumping those Red Bulls. Delirium. Dave can't be blunt because he may ruffle feathers or hurt his player's self-esteem, so no one ever gets called out for Ishii Ash at bats. Crap relief pitching. George, no one can bunt on the Dodgers. Good fundamentals are out of style these days. Alex Renteria. Tanner, last 2 outings have been good. Didn't he give up? No, I didn't say his last 2 outings. I said tonight. Of course. Well, actually, last 2, I mean, Sunday he did some work, so that's good. We got Alvaro Enriquez. Everything said and done. As much as I like Rojas, he choked on that at bat. That was just not a good at bat. I mean, there's no way to sugarcoat it. There's no way to defend it. They needed him to put the ball in play, and he just wasn't able to do it. I think that he deserves some benefit of the doubt that it was a bad day at work for him, and he would have liked to have that back. But unfortunately, yeah, I mean, but yeah, yes, people talk about Tanner Scott. Yeah, I mean, Saturday, he gave no runs. So Friday imploded, Saturday no runs, today no runs, and in a lower leverage situation. No, Dave, I do know Bonda is bad. It's from prone to thrill. We've got, look, Bonda's been great this year, so no Bonda slander. I just don't think that they optimized him the best way. I mean, he's got to go out there, take the ball. I don't think it was the best situation for him. And then he also followed the home run up with the walk. So NS, Rortvet leads the team with 2 sack bunts that he got in 1 game, LMAO. That's a wild stat, and it really shows that the Dodgers really always go for the slug for sure. And they definitely don't play that style of baseball very often. It's pretty rare. We got Let's Go LA, Mr. Fig, Schwan Klein. So we're playing in the wild card. Bring back. We got Prone to Throw. Bonda is a walk machine and trash most often. We got Bullpen equals nitroglycerin. Beer Som, agree with what? I wasn't listening to Roberts yapping. We got Bullpen sucks from SK. Angel, Roberts will never get the hard questions. Questions probably pre-screened. No, that's not true. I'm going to put 2 games. I'm going to tomorrow, Wednesday. They don't pre-screen the questions. You can ask whatever you want. I always try to ask as difficult questions as I can get. If I was there tonight, I would have asked a question that Michael Duarte asked, and that was about Emmet Sheehan and just the matchups against the lefty. But I also would have asked about, have they had a conversation with Blake Trinan about holding runners? And does he not embrace that part of the pitching experience, and just kind of getting his thoughts on that? Because that proved very costly because they were able to score that run. Chucky Robinson, The Curse of Austin Barnes from Keith Potter. We've got Millix Felix. We did get some runs on small ball, but the percentage don't always end that way. Yeah, I mean, they don't like to give up outs. I mean, that's just kind of how it works for this team. It doesn't happen very often, right? You don't get the Brett Butlers on this team, right? That's just not how it happens. But, I mean, we saw in the middle of August against the Rockies, there was a moment where you saw some small ball against the Rockies, and it worked then. A little bunt single down the first baseline. I remember that scored Andy Pajes, and you were able to score a run there. But it's rare. It doesn't happen for sure on this team very often. But let's hear from Max Muncy. He's always very open and honest and candid when it comes to his responses after tough losses. So let's hear from Muncy.
Max, when you look at this game, just the back and forth nature, just kind of what you expected from this, whether it's two competent teams or potential postseason matchup?
Yeah, we fought good. Unfortunately, we didn't come out on top, but we didn't give up, and I feel like that was a big thing for us. We got out to a lead, they fought back, and then we were able to keep going back into it.
How important was it just to start the way that you guys did, going up against Rangers Warriors and just finding ways to get to him?
Yeah, it was, we did good off him. He's a guy that's given us a lot of fits in the past, and I thought we had a lot of really good at-bats, and at the end of the day, he's still one of the best command pitchers out there, and he does a really good job of mixing stuff, and I thought we did good, getting good at-bats off him.
Max, not to criticize teammates, but you know how important the bullpen is going to be in the postseason. How frustrating is it to watch their struggles?
I mean, it's a tough question. When you look tonight, the home runs that were given up, Schwarber hit one with one finger on the bat, basically. Harper hit one about 7 inches above the zone. It's really hard to criticize them for making those pitches, and just really good hitters found a way to hit them out. It's frustrating just from a team perspective, but they've done a great job for us all year, and they're going to keep doing a great job.
You're probably going to see them in the playoffs. This series, this game, is there anything you take from that you might be able to use in a couple of weeks?
Personally, I don't necessarily think so. We've done that in the past, where we've played teams right before we've seen them in the postseason, and usually they do everything complete opposite. So there's not, right now you're just trying to win a game. You're not really worried about what's ahead. You're trying to win the game tonight.
Your first homer since you came off the IL, how that feel for you tonight?
Yeah, it felt good, but unfortunately I had some other bats where I didn't get the job done, and I'm gonna go to bed tonight thinking more about those than the home run.
You okay on that last at bat? It looks like getting you out of the box or far out.
Yeah, I stepped on home plate trying to get out of the box and just slipped. It's sometimes that happens.
So there was Max Muncy, and yeah, as you point out, I mean, those were some tough pitches they hit out. The Alex Vesey one especially, I mean, that was up out of the zone, a difficult pitch. I think the Jack Dreyer one kind of leaked in for sure. The Bonda pitch really wasn't a terrible pitch. It really wasn't the worst pitch in the world for sure. The Bonda pitch was a slider that was away, and he kind of one-armed it. But, hey, when you're playing against really good hitters, you got to tip your cap, but that's always a possibility. Sean Green asked in the comments, he says that Blake Trinan didn't give up a hit. What did he do wrong? So, obviously, Blake Trinan's great. I love Blake Trinan as a pitcher for this team and everything he's done and accomplished for this group. But if that's the only thing you're looking at for what makes a pitcher effective or not, well, let's look deeper into it. Yes, he did not give up a hit, but he allowed the double steal, which puts the go-ahead run on third base, and then he needed a strikeout against JT Realmuto and wasn't able to get it. The 7-pitch at bat, he hit a sac fly. In that situation, if you want to not hold runners and not just completely be oblivious and not pay attention, not do the little things against good teams, you got to do the little things. Tonight, he didn't do the little things. And you need a strikeout there if you're going to make up for it. So he gave the sac fly. So to answer your question, they pay Blake Trinan to get strikeouts in those situations. They pay Blake Trinan to come through and put up a 0, even if there's a Manfred man on. That's what we did last year. So to answer your question, yeah, hopefully I answered your question. Maybe you didn't see the game. I'm guessing you didn't, or something, or you're just reading a box score. You're just making assumptions. But let me know down below. I'll give you the link to the game if you want. We got Rod Wilson. Would that infield fly have scored a run in the 10th? No. We got Michael low-key to see Edman there regardless. Yeah, I mean, who knows? It's tough in retrospect. I think that Rojas has earned that at bat this year, and Tommy Edman has been a lot better this year against left-handed pitchers. And you look at David Robertson in that situation. Yeah, I mean, that's a guy that he throws right-handed pitch. He's a right-handed pitcher. So it's a tough situation. It's not the matchup that you would like to see this year, especially considering that Edmund hasn't gotten a ton of those at-bats this year. But my man, what up, Noise by Noel? Guys, everyone wish Noel. Everyone do a little prayer circle for Noel's knee. The knee's not feeling good, and wish him well. He hurt his knee. He's on the IL right now, so definitely send some love to the super producer, social media superstar, Noel Sanchez. So definitely be sure to go and do that. We got Delirium. Please, no openers in the postseason. Our relievers are not up to it, especially, too, because you have the starters. You won't see that, right? I mean, when you're going to see Shohei Ohtani pitch, it'll be in Bonda's role, but except he'll go 5 or 6 innings, hopefully 5, and then you'll get Sheehan for a couple innings, and we'll see how they use him. But I agree. This is not a team that needs that if this rotation stays healthy. BC says no bullpen games. Kevin Parker, I swear I'm in the Matrix. This was our number 6 starter, was their top starter. What's up, Ricky Flores? San Tupac. D-Mac loves tortas from Ricky Flores. I haven't really had dinner, so I might have a juicy torta after this one. We've got JR, good thing our playoff starts early. Bad thing is our playoff might end early. I mean, who's to say if they catch the postseason magic? We'll cross that bridge when they get there, but let's wait and see how this season plays out. I mean, the odds of them catching the Phillies now are extremely slim. They're very unlikely. So you can pretty much say bye to the bye, like I said at the top of the show, but that doesn't mean that you don't need to take care of business and win your division. And I know that there's a Dodgers team that has dealt a lot of injuries. They could have rushed guys back if they thought that was a little more important to have a top seed, but the Brewers kind of came out of nowhere this year to finish with the best record in the National League. The Phillies are a team that you knew they were going to ultimately have to deal with at some point, and it does feel like there's a collision course between these two teams. I fully expect the Dodgers to have to beat the Phillies. I'll say it right now. I think the Dodgers or the Phillies are going to be the World Series champions. I think tonight we saw the World Series champion, and was it the Dodgers or the Phillies? Only time will tell. But I think those are two teams that are ready to win the World Series. And I think this was a postseason preview, and it's going to be absolute cinema when these two face off. You thought that Dodgers-Padres was good. I think Phillies-Dodgers has the potential to be a lot better. We've got why are the audio levels so quiet in the interviews? I don't know. I kind of talk pretty loud, and it's always very quiet in the clubhouse. It's very somber and kind of quiet for sure. But let's do some more. We've got Neil. I don't blame any of the players. I blame Robert's stupidity. Neil, I mean, that's no offense, but that's a take that I can tell you from talking to these players. Like, unfortunately, and I mean this in the most respectful way ever, if you want to blame all the Dodgers' losses on Dave Roberts, it just really, truly means you don't understand the inner workings of the Dodgers. And I mean that respectfully, but that's just the truth. I mean, the truth is that every single move that Dave Roberts makes, there's multiple people that are involved in that move, and that doesn't mean that Dave doesn't have the final decision, because he absolutely does. But as far as the information gathering, as far as situations, as far as what they would do in that situation, yes, Dave Roberts, he presses the button at the end of the day, but it's a collaborative effort. And also, too, Dave is a good manager. Dave is a future Hall of Fame manager, and yes, he does make some bad decisions sometimes, but all managers do. But I mean, I don't see how anyone can watch last year's postseason where Dave won the World Series with 2.5 starters, where he had to manage a bullpen meticulously, and say Dave Roberts is a bad manager. It just means that you don't like Dave Roberts, the person. Let's just be honest. Like, let's call that what it is at this point. It's getting old. It's getting boring. It's getting stupid. Like, that's just what it means at this point. Like, it really does just mean that. What else could it be? Like, do you want the Dodgers to do the most insane thing that no one's ever done in the history of Major League Baseball? And that is just fire a World Series winning manager that's going to go to the Hall of Fame one day, that all of his players love to play for, that is a conduit to the front office, to the baseball ops, to the baseball development, to the team. Like, do you really think that makes sense? And also, too, do you think that the Astros won fair and square in 2017? It sounds like you might, because if you don't, that means you're saying that now the Dodgers should fire a manager that should have won in 2017 and he won in 2020 and he won in 2024. You realize that if you're a GM out there or a baseball president of operations, you fired a Dave Roberts, you would probably look like an absolute moron if you did that. Like, where does this come from? Like, I'm very just like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, where does this come from? Yes, Dave makes decisions that look like they're all his decision that definitely are not all his decisions sometimes. And the truth is, like, he's really good at the role that he has for this team. And I think this is the issue I have. When you always just blame Dave Roberts, you lose sight of the real issues for this team and when they happen, right? Whether it be roster construction, whether it be a certain player not doing a certain thing, whether it be the Dodgers' approach at the plate in certain moments, whether it be development, things like that. It's almost a good thing for the Dodgers by using Dave Roberts as a distraction because it's like the low-hanging fruit. It's like, I can't even tell you. It's the most boring topic in the history of the Dodgers at this point. It just truly is. It's the most boring topic. I don't get it. Like, Dave Roberts is a really good manager, but this team's problem is not Dave Roberts. Like, it just is not. Like, factually, it isn't. Like, oh my goodness. It's just, I don't know. It's crazy to me. It is crazy to me. It really is. It's insane. But, all right, we got, it'll be a sweep from BS. BC, volume is perfect. Justin, sucks the Dodgers don't know how to play small ball. Clayton, our bullpen gave up 4 walks and 3 home runs. That is unacceptable. Larry says Bonda sucks. Roberts turned him into a rubber arm and not at the beginning of the game. End of the experiment, Roberts. You have shown zero passion or fire since you got your contract. $49.99. First of all, Lola is the MVP of this chat. Like, Lola is the player of the game, the MVP of the Dodgers Nation postgame show this year because she keeps hooking it up with $49.99. I mean, I can't tell you how much I appreciate this. Lola says, pocket money DMAC, ask the tough questions in post pressers and put mods in the Discord or make me one. No Kyle Tucker for me. So you're out on Kyle Tucker. We're going to hire you to be a Discord mod. Thanks for the pocket money. This is going to definitely go to good use and appreciate that. So, yeah, we'll find you in the Discord for sure. Appreciate you, Lola. George, DMAC has to put away the brooms until further notice. Yep, I'll take the L there. And that's the thing. Like, this team should have won tonight, could have won tonight, and then you'd feel really good about a sweep with Shohei Ohtani and Blake Snell on the mound. So I don't regret saying that because this team was very, very close. But, yeah, I guess Lola, I won't use that $49.99 towards Kyle Tucker's contract. This will be for someone else. Probably be for another player. Nan, Roberts just won the World Series, guys. He's the best manager in the game. We need to appreciate what we have. I don't know. It's pretty wild. Like, I'm not gonna keep going on that rant, but it's not that like you can feel that way. That's totally fine. He's not on the same level as Tommy Lasorda, Don Burns. I mean, he has the same amount of World Series, but Tommy Lasorda was totally different. Tommy Lasorda, you can make the case, was the global ambassador for baseball, right? And think about that. The fact that you can even have that statement, I think, tells you the kind of manager that Dave Roberts is, because Tommy Lasorda is one of the greatest managers in the history of baseball. So also, too, like, who ever said, can you find me a quote of anyone ever saying that Dave Roberts was on the same level as Tommy Lasorda? Like, did I miss something? Is there someone out there that's saying that? Is there someone that's... Tommy Lasorda was a very different era of baseball, too. It was just totally different. It was a very different era of baseball, but no one's saying that. No one really is. Tommy Lasorda is the GOAT, man. He's Walter Alston and him are the two greatest managers in franchise history. So we got Fire Roberts from Paul Gutierrez. I love Dave from Bob Bowie. We got... thank you, Delirium. This is Dodgers each time. A good manager keeps putting Tanner Scott that blows 10 saves. We've got Dang DMAC. You finally at least sounded rational tonight about Dave's antics that have cost us too many dubs tonight. He don't need to be fired. Just question on his motives from time. Exactly. That's the thing. But I mean, it's okay. I digress. I don't know why. Roberts was analytics, but they didn't factually. Small ball doesn't work. DMAC, is that a vest? No vest tonight. Quarter zip tonight. But you know what? Tomorrow I'm going to be at the game. We'll do a post-game show from Dodgers Stadium, and the vest will be back because it is needed. Beer Summit. So anyways, fire Dave Roberts, right? Okay, guys. Look, man, hey, it's all love, right? That's what I love about you guys. That's what I love about you guys. You guys are the best because we can have good conversations about Dodger baseball. Alex Renteria, Lolita, the MVP tonight. $4.99 from Stavi. Knew it was over when Rojas hit that infield pop. Honestly sucks, but it is what it is. We've got Dodgers, Phillies is going to be fun. No nonsense, Lola. Okay, we'll find you in the Discord. I think you got hired as a moderator. We got you. Send over your LinkedIn for sure. Awesome. But all right, guys, that is going to do it. We got Paulie says Lasorda style would not work well with the soft Gen Z players. I wasn't even alive, and I know that from BC. Yeah, I'm obsessed with Tommy Lasorda. Like that's the thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I don't know who said that. I mean, fire Roberts, hire DMAC. I don't know who's like. Is there like I said? Is there someone out there that said that Dave Roberts was a better manager than Tommy Lasorda? Find link to me. I don't think I've ever seen anyone say that. I mean, Tommy Lasorda gets a lot of credit for expanding just the idea of Dodger Blue in general. I can go on for days, but that is going to do it for this episode of the Dodgers Nation post-game show. I know it's a frustrating loss. We had to get into it. You guys are the best fans in the game. We're going to be doing a lot of giveaways coming up, so I want you guys to win stuff. And to do that, you got to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and if you want to support the channel every single day, hit the like button and drop a comment down below. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. See you guys tomorrow for Dodgers Dugout Live in the morning. And remember that nothing, absolutely nothing, brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
Start the party, Los Angeles! Your Dodgers have won the World Series!
And when the upcoming winter gives way to spring, rest assured, once again, it will be time for Dodger baseball.